Okay, so it's late at night. I'm probably going to be the only one in this instance. But I figured I might talk a little bit about how the Shuriken Master, uh, kind of what role she can play. And that's really focusing these mist monsters and having a whole lot of mobility. And I really like this shotgun that I'm using right now, the tactical pump action shotgun. Even though it's water and I'm shooting at energy dudes. But I like that it's got good range and a lot of like burst damage. The Enforcer apparently has a bit more range than it, but I don't have a good info. Oh, there is someone in this instance. That's cool. Maybe he'll want to do higher level encampments and I won't die to takers and stuff like that. Which there's a good way to approach takers with your shurikens. You kind of... A lot of the time the takers try to, dodge around and stuff. But there's certain times where they're sort of on a straight course towards you. Or if they're on a straight course towards someone else, you can have your stars, intersect their path. But yeah, you can definitely use Dragon Slash when you're dealing with lesser mobs. It's always good to just look around you real quick and see what sort of things are popping up in each encampment. But if there aren't any takers, a lot of the time it's good to just Dragon Slash through the smaller things. And then using something like a shotgun, go after the husky husks. If you're using something like an SMG or a pistol or an assault rifle, that can change how you approach things. So this is really kind of about how to approach encampments with throwing stars and a shotgun. I'm sure that if you have a longer range weapon, if you're mowing things down from afar a little more, you don't have to rely so much on mobility, on like double jumping out of the way and stuff like that. Yep. I really like the Shuriken Master for conserving ammo, just because the shurikens end up on like a 3-second cooldown. Oh, this is the... okay. And again, we don't... oh, we do have a taker. So... this guy's already got an unlock. This is why I was... I mean, this is, I guess, kind of a low power level for me now, so that's why I wanted to record a solo mission. Because I figured I'd be kind of balanced, at least against the earlier encampments. But maybe this will be more balanced against later encampments if we end up doing more than 5. Don't even need this ammo. Full on metal, but I could use the nuts and bolts. So... let's see if we can, like, draw this guy out. I don't like how cramped this is. I'm gonna throw a turret up here. Dragon Slash through these guys. Destroy this wall. Let the Outlander punch it. Rocket on one ankle biter seems like a bit overkill, but, whatever works. Okay, maybe that's why she's got the rocket launcher out. So it looks like this encampment's spawning enemies, I don't know. I'm sure there's... it's like spawning just one at a time. Again, like, since we've got so few enemies, I can just take that time to to wait until my stars are on cooldown, rather than use the shotgun shell. This is a really placid and boring video. I need to just do a voiceover on one that I did like a month ago, where it was much quicker, much more people in the instance, so it was kind of a race from encampment to encampment. Lots of action. The encampment was at a pretty high level compared to me. This is just uneventful. Okay, there's the next one. Heyo. So that's a very good isolated example of how to deal with a taker. Not a taker, a mouth breather. Throwing stars will set off those explosives. There are always 2 garden gnomes in this garden, and there we go, active power cell. Always break garden gnomes. I like that if you've got the energy to burn, you can totally use Dragon Slash as a maneuverability thing. But now that Mantis Sleep is super cheap, like that's you can just like hop across the map, and your energy regen is pretty good. But like you really don't lose much energy. You can probably just forget about using a hoverboard as a ninja, and as an outlander you can start to wonder why they aren't massively buffing phase dash or whatever. Again, no mist monsters. Oh, no, 1 mist monster. So that can make, if you're dealing with huge mobs with the Shurikens, Shuriken Masters, Shurikens do pierce. But you really want to be dealing with a group from far away. What's really nice, actually, is when a group is mobbing one of your teammates, you can just throw the Shurikens kind of at your teammate. You know, or where these mobs will be in melee position when they're attacking your teammate, whether your teammate's backpedaling or whatever. Backpedaling and throwing your shurikens is also, like, never a bad idea. That's a good way to just turn, you know, sort of a frontal AoE into a, you know, you draw the mobs up so that they're all kind of in that convenient line for your shurikens to hit. So, another good thing to know is just getting to any decently high point near the middle of a map on encampments is a good way to find the next one. Doghouses always give bacon when you destroy them. Shit, there was someone in an instance the other day who wanted to know how to get bacon, and I neglected to mention doghouses. But besides doghouses, go for bathrooms. I think kitchens now, tables at least, have a good chance of bacon. But toilets and porta potties, like, since like more than a year ago, toilets and porta potties have given you bacon. Also, I didn't originally finish off that mouth breather because Shuriken Master has dots on the shurikens. That's why I didn't bother throwing at the taker right there, because I figured the affliction damage would take it out. So yeah, they'll do that like one dodge right after another, which to me means that they're a lower priority than takers. You always need to be mindful of cover, I think playing anything, but especially a ninja. Like, a lot of the time you want to start near the center so that you can dragon slash outwards and get a bunch of the smaller mobs. Like here I could run into this house if I really need to. Okay, no bacon from there. Here we go, throwing our shurikens at the sort of at the feet of our teammate. Okay, so out of this whole video, most of it is a wash, but that last, I think if you were to pay a little bit of attention to how I did that last camp, a few of the things that I've remembered to bring up and talk about would make themselves apparent there. I mean, now that we're on the bonus encampments, things are getting a bit more feisty, so that's nice. If you need planks, you shouldn't especially be breaking pallets and grabbing wood. So I can get around the other end of either of these houses. But also I feel pretty confident just going toe-to-toe with this guy. And then, okay, let's see if this guy... There we go, yeah. I was a little early there. But when they're charging at you, that's a prime time to throw shurikens in their face, and they're not going to deal with it well. These other guys are making it too easy. That's another thing to just know as Ninja, though, is that a lot of the time you can sort of, if you've got good teammates, you can rely on them to play their roles. That wasn't the best way to get out of there. But as you see, like, now I don't have to worry about all the stuff that our Urban Assault or Grenadier got rid of. But yeah, shurikens can melt through those mist monsters. I mean, if there's 3 or 4 mouth breathers, they have a lot of range. They can be immediate threats to you and your teammates. It's really important to take those guys out early. I mean, that dude did fine, you know. Dealing with one, you know, because takers or whatever they're called, they take their time to get to you. They don't have ranged attacks, you know. They've got to fly over there to hit you. You've got plenty of time to shoot. As a shuriken master, as a ninja, that really shouldn't be your focus. And it's very easy for you to avoid them. It's very easy for you to avoid a lot of things. And generally, the amount of time that it takes you to get into cover, your shurikens are back up. Yeah, it's like a 3.5 second cooldown, maybe. So I could also go to that house for cover. I mean, it's got a wall blown open, so I could run right into the living room. That could give me good cover. Cars are good cover, trees are good cover. Sometimes the encampment itself is a good cover. So I assume we have another taker. But again, like I can kite the hell out of him, and he has to float over really slowly. So really it's the mouth breathers that are your #1 priority. Like, especially because they know to dodge, like, pretty well. Ooh, it looks like... Okay, I think he got killed right before he could get at me. I thought the fence had some weird sort of hitbox or whatever blocking it from getting me. How much silver do I have? Need to get rid of some soon. But here, Ninja's double jump is nice. People have already built a few ramps to help me get up here. Oh, nice. Is that gonna pull the smasher? Make this really exciting. I have not provided any cover for myself. Sometimes they'll do like a double juke, but it seems like if you kind of like aim at them, they seem to juke when you're aimed at them. Oh. So Shuriken Master's really good against smashers. Between just when they're not moving much, which means not just when they're done charging, but before they've charged, or if you can bait them into trying to smash you. They'll stand still while they do this big overhead smash. There we go. This is some pretty good execution here. that wave was a good example of sort of what to do. Find cover, evade the taker more so than try to deal with it if there are mouth breathers out. I mean, those takers do matter, but I've got a double... yeah, it was the mouth breather that took me out. I stood and let myself get hit by the taker a little too much, but... oh, the indignity. Just letting me... not even gonna revive me. Just gonna go and grab their reward. So yeah, as far as how to ninja versus encampments and just in general, focus on mouth breathers. Takers, if they're charging directly at you, you can just boop boop boo. Anything that's targeting a teammate, you can generally, it's very easy to figure out, like, if the teammate is this tree, it's pretty easy to just kind of, do a spread, whatever. And anything that's trying to melee your teammate, And that can apply to if a taker's coming, from here down to here. You can just try to intercept it. And, you've got a good spread of shurikens. If you want to play that way, it is pretty easy overall. Like, I was not on point right now, but a lot of the time you can, and you'll do massive damage to takers with your shurikens. Yeah, and then smashers. Smashers, when they don't even have to be standing still, just as long as they're not mid-charge, use your smoke bomb on them. And then just throw shurikens at them, do a couple of shotgun shots, whatever, throw more shurikens, remember that it's a really short cooldown. And then, this wasn't really a sort of a what to do as far as like your distance game with Shuriken Master. But this dragon assault rifle with the piercing rounds, I feel like is a pretty good gun to play as a ninja. Like if you're doing storm shield defenses, just try to get somewhere where you're on a level, throw shurikens, they'll pierce through 3 husks. Start shooting this, it'll pierce through all the husks, throw a few more shurikens, and that's kind of how you get your wave clear. Plus Dragon Slash is still, it does its job. I mean, that's a really good thing with encampments, is, you can start around here in your encampment, take out a quadrant, and then, run behind cover, etc. But yeah, being mindful of cover, being aware of how much mobility you have, and knowing which targets to go at with your shurikens. And to a degree, remembering that Dragon Slash and Smoke Bomb can do damage, but they're not really your main damage dealer. A lot of the time, I think you'd find a lot of Shuriken Masters who just sit back with guns and throw shurikens, and it's a lot like being a grenadier, except that you don't have an arc on your shurikens. They can travel for infinity, which is nice. So, I hope that was a somewhat cogent rundown of Shuriken Master and kind of how to deal with mouth breathers with her and stuff like that. So I think that'll be that.